So guys, there is gist. The two women you are seeing here is Ruby Franke and JodiHildebrandt, okay? Hildebrandt. So they did something, a very heinous crime. So it turned out that Ruby was married to a man called Kevin. And that is Kevin, okay? This happened in the United States. And they were members of the Mormon Church, a Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints or something. That's the full name. So Ruby and Kevin had a very nice family, okay? Awesome family. And they started, Ruby and Kevin, her husband, they started a YouTube channel in 2015. And I think they called it the 8 Passengers or something, Passenger 8 or something. So with their 4 or 5 children. And then everything was going well. The YouTube channel blew up. But then after some time, Ruby started having issues with Kevin. So she kicked Kevin out, her husband out, and 3 of her children went too. So it's remaining her 2 last children. So now she owns the house and owns the man's cars and everything. Then she joined Jodi, her friend Jodi, and they started a counseling, parenting YouTube channel that they called Moms of Truth. So both of them were running a YouTube channel teaching the world how to be a good parent, how to raise children and everything. The thing blew up too, so they kept making money from the YouTube channel. So last year, around August, a little boy escaped from Ruby's house. Turns out it was her, out of the 2 children she kept behind with her in the house, the older one, which is 12 years old, escaped and started going to all their neighbors' houses, ringing the doorbell until one man opened the door and saw that the boy was emaciated. Look at his legs. He has injuries from beating all over his eyes. He has ankle injuries. Turned out that even leg and wrist and ankle injuries. He has not eaten in a while. He's so weak and frail. So it turned out that Ruby and her friend Jodi, even though they were showing a different image to the world, where they were teaching the world how to be good parents, they built a bunker in Jodi's house, concrete bunker, where they imprisoned their 2 children. And they were giving them all sorts of punishments. They were waterboarding them. They would get a big container of water and dip their head inside until they pass out. They would tie them. The boy tried to escape once, the 12-year-old boy, so they learned to tie his hands. And then when he has injuries from days of being tied, they will apply honey on the injuries. So they will force them to sit on the wall without any seat for hours as punishment. Then when the sun is hot, they will bring them to the backyard to walk under the hot sun, telling them that they are possessed by the devil. So they were basically brainwashing the children and telling them the punishment was because of the devil inside them. So eventually the boy successfully escaped, and the neighbor helped to call the police. Police arrived. There's a video of it. I don't want to show it here. And went into the house and was marveled by the things, torture instruments they saw. When they now got to the room where the younger girl is, her last daughter, which is 9 years old. When they met the last daughter was sitting on the floor and refused to leave. She was saying that she's at fault, like they have brainwashed her to that point. It took police 4 hours to convince her to come with them. Like they had to sit down, the policeman had to sit down with the girl and started trying to make her understand that she's safe for 4 hours. Even the boy, when they were at the boy that escaped, when they were not asking him the cause of the injuries, he said he got these injuries because of him. He was blaming himself. That was the level of brainwashing. How did this woman succeed with all these things? First, she kicked out her husband. When police now invited her husband, by that time the husband did not know that the children have escaped from this hell of a prison. So they were asking the husband what happened. The man was saying that the way he put it is crazy. If you listen to the interview, they asked the man, why are you not in the house with your wife? He said that my wife, Ruby, invited me to leave the house. That was how the woman kicked her out. So he said that the woman invited her to leave him. So he himself looked brainwashed too. They were now asking him, when did you see your wife last? He said a year ago. So this thing happened in 2023, but the court case that imprisoned the two women just happened yesterday. So the last time he saw his wife was 2022. And he said that the wife only invited him to sign over the car documents to her. So he owns cars. When the wife kicked him out, he had to sign to give the wife his cars. He was the one paying for the house rent and everything. And they said that he just sends money. He has not seen his children. So he wasn't putting blame. He was saying that he left the house because of his own he has personal issues. So the wife said that they cannot cope. So he was just putting all the blames, exactly the way his children was putting blames on themselves for the punishment the wife was meting on them. That was how the man was putting all the blame on a full-grown man. Until they now told him that his children escaped, that they were being tortured. That's when he made this face. He was like, what? So now he's filing court case because the state has taken the children. So he's filing court case that they should release the children to him. And he filed for divorce from the woman. So in the court judgment, police was able to extract, even though she was in jail from that August last year till yesterday when they did the court case or so, they were able to extract extra call records that she made from jail, telling her sister that she's the victim, that the children are the perpetrators of the crime. Like, she's not even remorseful. She's seeing herself as being victimized. So the court gave she and her friend, her evil friend, between 5 to 15 years. You know the way they stack it up, whether it's consecutively or whatever. So I don't know how long they will end in prison in total, but I think the maximum length of time they're going to spend in prison is 15 years. Meanwhile, their church, which is the Mormon church, has come to say that this is evil and they don't represent them. Even though the reason the woman was giving the children was religious, telling them that they have demons and stuff that they are being delivered. That's why she's torturing them. So 2 things to learn from this. As a man, if your wife has taken your children, occasionally go and check, make sure that your children are good. Sight them, see them with your eyes to be sure that they are good. You know, some women will completely disconnect the man from the children. The man will not be able to see his children for years. So as a man, occasionally you should put up some fights so that you can at least sight your children. You know, somebody was telling me that he had a friend that the wife took the child. They had only one child. The wife took the child. And then 2 years later, when the man wanted to see the child, it was difficult. He fought and fought and fought and fought. Until a friend of the wife was the one that helped him to get the video recording of the child. It turned out that the child had a very big infection on the mouth. The mouth, the jaw, the throat swollen. This is a 2 to 3 year old child. The child was dying, malnourished. So with that video, that man was able to go to court and regain custody. So as a man, sometimes, even though, you know, it can be annoying that a woman would carry the children out and go their way, it's okay, but occasionally see your children to be sure that everything is still fine, because you never know when somebody is losing their mind. You know, you never know people that have evil plan, and that's why they want to kick out the man, because if that man was in the house, he wouldn't have tolerated that kind of torture on his children. But it's crazy. What do you guys think about it? Another thing is what religion does to some people's mind. You know, religion sometimes have the power to brainwash people. So for this woman to be in jail, still making calls saying that she's the victim, that she's being victimized, that her own children are the perpetrators of the crime. Can you imagine that? Her mind is messed up. And then finally, remember that what people say on the internet is an act. When people show up on the internet, they are putting up an act. Their real life may be totally opposite. There's a YouTube couple that I just learned yesterday got divorced. These people have been making videos since 2015. Happiest couple, happiest home, everything, normal. They have divorced since February and they didn't tell anybody. The thing is just coming out. It's crazy. So don't try and build your life around the happy life you are seeing online. And be careful of all these advisors, all these therapists. They were running a parenting therapy company. These people that are imprisoning their children.